Mrs. Ashbury's Hero, written by Rakia Beverly, illustrated by Donald L. Hill. Dedicated to childhood cancer survivors, fighters, and those who have gained their wings. It was a regular day in Mrs. Ashbury's class. The boys and girls in her classroom were completing their morning work and putting puzzle pieces together. Boys and girls, it's time to take attendance. I expect all tables to be squeaky clean in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, said Mrs. Ashbury. And in an instant, the students were ready to start the day. She called all her students one by one to the large carpet in the front of the room for morning meeting. She began to call the students' names to see who was present or absent. Garrett, here. Jen, here. Rob, here. Nathan, here. Alberta, here. And so on until all the students were called. All the students began to raise their hands. Over 15 hands were calling out, Mrs. Ashbury, Mrs. Ashbury, Mrs. Ashbury. Mrs. Ashbury called on the quietest student sitting crisscross applesauce. She called on Nathan. Yes, Nathan, she said. In a very shy voice, Nathan said, Mrs. Ashbury, I want to bring my new port to school. Mrs. Ashbury looked at Nathan with a puzzled look. A port? She asked. Nathan replied, yes. Even though Mrs. Ashbury didn't know exactly what Nathan meant, she agreed to him bringing his port to school. The next day, the students walked in and completed their daily morning routine activities. Again, Mrs. Ashbury told the students, boys and girls, it's time to take attendance. I expect all desks to be squeaky clean in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she took attendance. Nathan raised his hand. Once Mrs. Ashbury saw Nathan's hand, she remembered that he had something he wanted to share and asked, yes, Nathan, are you ready to share what you brought to school? Nathan exclaimed, yes. Nathan walked his cubby and reached into his backpack and walked toward the carpet. In his hand, he had something, and it fits perfectly. Neither Mrs. Ashbury nor the class could see what he had in his hand. Nathan opened his hand and showed the class a purple object. With a proud voice, he said, this is my port. The class looked confused. Nathan went on to explain. A port is a small disc made of plastic or metal, and it's about the size of a quarter that's under my skin. It gives me my medicine. I was diagnosed with childhood cancer. There are some days I won't be here at school, and that's because I will be at the hospital getting more medicine. I have the best doctors and nurses. Nurse Murray helps give me my medicine when I have to stay the night on the 4th floor. And when I grow up, I want to start an animal rescue group to help animals that need food and water. There's one more thing I want to share, Mrs. Ashbury. Of course, Nathan replied. Of course, Nathan, she replied. I want to tell the class that I may look different too. The medicine can be so strong that I will lose my hair, and I don't want anyone to be afraid because I'll still be the same person on the inside. My outside will be different though. All the students were amazed at Nathan's story. Jen spoke up, wow, Nathan, you're brave. Then Garrett said, you are the strongest kid I know. Mrs. Ashbury's eyes began to water, but she quickly wiped away her tears. Lastly, Rob said, if I ever feel like giving up, I can always remember your strength. After listening to Nathan's story, Mrs. Ashbury's life was changed forever. The end.